Kaveh, saying, why do Pahlavi, the Iranian people, Israel, USA, and the Gulf countries all
Persian
act
Gulf States.
separately? Persian Gulf countries all act separately. Wouldn't simultaneous internal and external pressure make the Islamic Republic far more likely to fall fast? I have a very simple answer for you. It's because Pahlavi and the Iranian people have the same objective. Israel largely, not completely, largely has the same objective as the Iranian people and Prince Reza Pahlavi. Then you're moving down. You're even saying them in order. So it goes Pahlavi, Iranian people together. Israel, a little bit less together. USA, a little bit less together. Gulf countries, further apart. A lot of the Gulf countries don't really care if
Persian.
the Islamic Republic, Persian Gulf countries, they don't really care if the Islamic Republic is gone or if it stays. They just care about selling their oil. They prefer a weak Iran, but they don't necessarily care if the Islamic Republic stays or goes. That's why.
So,
Everyone has different objectives.
so I wouldn't, you're correct, but I would word it from the other perspective. Instead of saying little bit less aligned, then more or less, I would say Israel and the Iranian people and Pahlavi are more aligned. I would focus on the positive rather than the distance, right? And then United States is then the next mostly aligned, and the Persian Gulf countries are the least aligned. But Kaveh, I do think you're correct though. This is the solution. This is the solution. If these in an alternative, parallel universe, the Islamic Republic would have been gone by now, because of all of these entities decided to just work aligned with each other against the Islamic Republic. If that had happened, so for example, this is how that would work, right? You get the Americans to liberate Bandar Abbas, right? You get Prince Reza Pahlavi to put a call to action to bring the Iranian people to Bandar Abbas to get trained and armed, right? You get the American Marines to liberate Bandar Abbas. You make Bandar Abbas the base of operation of the Iranian people to get armed and trained and create an Iranian army under the direction of Prince Reza Pahlavi. You get the Americans to take the Islamic Republic's oil tankers and give it to this Iranian people who are now turning Bandar Abbas into their base of operations. You get the Iranians to sell the oil tankers, the oil in the oil tankers, in the market, and use that money to pay the Americans for their services to liberate Bandar Abbas, but also for them to continue providing air support to the Iranian people in Bandar Abbas. So the Americans would be paid for their secure services, and also for the Americans not to have boots on the ground, because they wouldn't have because instead of that, they would be arming the Iranian people for those would be the boots on the ground. You will get Prince Reza Pahlavi and his team to filter the people who come to Bandar Abbas to get trained, so that we're not arming the wrong people. Then you get the Ukrainians. Also, they would do that with Mossad to gather information regarding the people who are coming and vet them to make sure that you're giving weapons to the right people. You get the Ukrainian soldiers to come. So here's what your list is missing. Ukraine. You get the Ukrainians to come to Bandar Abbas to provide drones to the Iranian people and train them in how to use drones. And then you expand this army, and by doing that, you're also liberating the Strait of Hormuz before you even liberate the rest of Iran. The Strait of Hormuz will be free, and then as this army expands in southern Iran, as it expands all across the Persian Gulf, the Islamic Republic will lose all access to its revenue from oil and gas, and it will become fully bankrupt. And the Iranian army will become very rich. So you don't even need to start with Tehran. If you get southern Iran, this Iranian army will get very rich because it has oil and gas now, and it could provide the finances for its own soldiers to train and eat and have a place to live, and to pay the Ukrainian soldiers for the training and the drones, and that money will go to Ukrainian army against Putin. So there's a win over there here as well. And the money that goes to the Americans means that the Americans will have a lot of political capital to do this in Washington, D.C., because they're not putting American soldiers boots on the ground. One, it's easier to sell this politically in the United States by telling the American voters that we're not invading a country, we're just enabling the Iranian people to free themselves. You're showing them the you're showing the American voters that you're not losing money on this. In fact, you might even make a profit. You're providing air support to the Iranian people, and they're paying for it with the oil tankers that you just gave them, took from the Islamic Republic that you gave them. So I don't know how the Persian Gulf countries could get involved. I think they could get involved by staying out of the way because they're useless, honestly. So that's their best contribution that they could do is stay out of the way. Yeah, they could basically maybe hold Oman and Qatar back, not to get involved. That's the best they could do. So that would be the major contribution from them. But yeah, this will get the Prince Reza Pahlavi, the Iranian people, Israel, Ukraine, and United States involved, and Persian Gulf countries could just step back, set this one back. That would be the best plan, in my opinion.
There you go, Kaveh. Thank you for that super chat. And the real Sao is saying this war is going to first force the Arab countries to work with Israel on defense. Gulf states, the Persian Gulf states clearly want it. This war will force that alliance to happen. Speaking of that, Saudi Arabia has informed us that they would like to. So here, let me show this to you guys. So, Saudi Arabia actually started talking about the Abraham Accords, and they said to the US, hey, we're ready to talk about joining the Abraham Accords, but there's two conditions. One, Netanyahu's got to go. We cannot be friends with Israel and join the Abraham Accords as long as Benjamin Netanyahu is the prime minister. And two, Ben Gvir has got to go and stop his operations in Gaza. Those are the two. So no Benjamin Netanyahu administration, no more Palestine, Gaza.
Is this
conflict.
confirmed?
Yeah.
Can you send
They
this
said
to
that.
me? Because I want to double check.
Yeah.
Because guys, tell me what's the significance of this post. Anybody in the chat? What is this? Let me see if the chat gets anybody in the chat gets this. What is the significance of this post if true? Let me actually double check if it's true. Thank you, Ali.
Yeah, of course.
And Ali, what is something so very significant about this if it's true?
That the only thing holding them back is like public image is what they're trying to say. Hey, we're ready to join the Abraham Accords. Like it's not a problem. But like
But that has always but that has always been the case. Okay,
but
they
that they're
always wanted
signaling
to.
it. And
No,
they're
I mean the
saying that we're
Saudis always. The Saudis always wanted to join the Abrahamic Accord, but they had to, and they signaled that they wanted it, but they always had to, virtue signal that we can't because Israel is bad and stuff like that. But there's something changed. What is new about this? Let me see if anybody. Let me see the chat. Let me see in the chat. There's a major difference if this is the case.
What's the difference?
Here's a question for you. Here's a hint. What is missing here? What is not there?
What is not there?
Let me double check. I want to make sure that this is in full context.
Nothing comes to my mind. Oh, I see. Okay, well, the chat spoiled it for me.
Good job. So. Yes. So the major obstacle for Saudi Arabia getting into the Abrahamic Accord was that Israel needs to move forward, make steps towards the two-state solution. Exactly. Like as soon as I said what's missing, people, you all got it. Good job.
Yeah, when I read that, the feeling that I got was that they're being less resistant to this idea. So with more time, I feel like they're going to get there.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.